Hello and welcome to Steve's Vintage Model Builds. Well, I have to confess, this is the second time I've done this video. I went through the first one and something went wrong with the audio. And so, in any case, I talked way too much about politics, and so I don't like to do that on the channel here. Anyways, so yeah, so I have 513 subscribers now. Thank you all very much. I appreciate everybody's time, everyone who stops in. I know it's valuable, and hope you enjoy at least some of what you see, even if it only gives you a good laugh or helps you to go to sleep. Nyuk, nyuk, nyuk. All right, yeah, so that's why we're already out of the box, but I did want to show you the box. The kit came from a company called Miller Rock in the UK. I've ordered quite a number of kits from them. The people there are great. It usually gets here about a week before the earliest promised date, and I've never had a problem with them. Their prices are excellent, and they have some great interesting kits. So yeah, if you see the vendor on Amazon, Miller Rock, you can trust them. They're good. So yeah, so this came international priority via Royal Mail, which did manage to squish it a little bit. But you can see here, Miller Rock packed it in a good heavy cardboard box, sleeve box. And again, it's not their fault that somebody along the way crushed it. And we see here too, there's a little crease here, and it runs down the side here where it was squished. You can't really notice it. Well, you can, but anyways, again, that's not their fault. This is a good, sturdy, top-opening cardboard box. And as we'll see in a moment, it's well packed. So obviously the manufacturer is Italeri. It's a 1/35 scale. Their catalog number is 6589. And it says here decal sheet for 6 versions. So that's a plethora of decals. It could certainly be, the extras will certainly find a use. And also indicates here 2 new gluable rubber tracks, the T136 Chevron and the NATO M116. So it looks like you get 2 separate sets of tracks, which is really cool. The ones on the box here, these are the Chevrons, I think. Maybe not. Anyways, we'll see that after. Okay, so, and again, different versions here. Actually, this one does look like it might be the, what does it say here? They show you on the side. Yeah, it's a NATO, some kind of Spanish thing, September 19, 2019. So, anyways, and yeah, so you get the side of the box here. They give you all the usual warnings and stuff. It says 14 and up. I think a younger modeler with just a bit of experience could probably do it with some help. Made in Italy, which is great. And nothing on the underside of the box. In addition to the front box art, we've got paint schemes. Well, first we've got the decal set. As you can see, there's a variety of them here. And then we've got 3 different versions here on the side. And on this side, they say, oops, they show you the size of the model. It's 18, the completed kit, 18.8 centimeters, which is about, I don't know, 3-4 inches, something like that. Be about that long, I guess. Yeah, that sounds, well, maybe about that long. Anyways, so Actually, we'll see in a minute. Okay, so we'll of course, haha, we'll start off with a bit of history. It's history time! Yay! All right, so very quickly, this is what's referred to as a self-propelled gun or a self-propelled howitzer. What it's mounted with a howitzer for this purpose. They're also called, or can mount, self-propelled mortars, as well as rocket artillery. An early example of a self-propelled rocket artillery would be the Sherman Calliope, and I reviewed that kit not too long ago. It's an interesting subject, and it looks like a nice kit. A lot of pieces for a little 172 kit, but I'll have to wait till the deepest, darkest winter time OCD blues to get at that. So, and the first, obviously, it was an evolution from horse-drawn artillery, as opposed to fixed artillery or artillery that had to be moved into place, and it was mostly for sieges or whatever the case may be. So, yeah, so and it evolved from the horse-drawn artillery, and serves the same purpose and the same role. Highly mobile, and can support both offensive and defensive operations. Again, highly mobile. A lot of people criticize the British higher command in World War I, but it was actually the British who were the first to field a self-propelled gun, and basically it was just one of their. I think it was a naval gun, but it might have just been a big field gun, and they mounted it on a heavy tractor, and it was actually it could be mounted on the tractor, or it could be dismounted from the tractor and serve as static artillery. So that was kind of forward thinking. And of course, hobbyists will know, or most hobbyists will be familiar with the German Stug, the Nazi German Stug, which is actually an assault gun, but again, it was a piece of self-propelled artillery, although usually used for tank killing or to support offensive operations in a direct fire mode. Whereas most of the evolution of the self-propelled artillery, it moved from that into being much more of a longer range indirect fire. Obviously, it could be used for direct fire, but in any case, so yeah, so it's called a lot of different things, but it's pretty much the same thing. They can have either an open or closed turret. Just like a regular field artillery piece, they might have shielding, plate shielding at the front and the sides, but it's open at the rear. And of course, in this version, there's fully traversable 360-degree turret. It's an American design. It was designed by the Ground System Division of United Defense, which is now BAE Systems. So it's actually initially a British design, and the design process went for about 10 years, between 52 and 62. But then it was actually meant, I guess, part of the, one way for the Americans to help the British arms industry was to have them design stuff for them on a contract. And they were manufactured by Cadillac and General Motors. Subcontracts went to Chrysler, and now manufactured by BAE Systems and Hanwha. which I guess is either a Japanese or maybe a Korean company. With HAN, I think it might be Korean. Let me see. Yes, Korean. I should know them, but I don't. So, in any case, so yeah, let's crack on with the kit, as they say. We'll take this out. Nice big instruction booklet. Set that aside. The most recent iteration of this is the A7 Paladin, which is the main self-propelled gun of the United States military, both Marines and Army. It's also the backbone of the Israeli Defense forces. And they're absolutely perfect for the kind of conflicts that Israel is forced to fight. Or, as in the case of Lebanon currently, police actions. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. All right. So, and here we have, we got, sprue number 1 here. And, it's not super detailed, but it's sufficient. I'm not crazy about the color of the plastic, but that's all going to get painted over anyways. I'm not seeing any flash at all. There's nothing on these cages here. Nothing on the, I guess this is the 7.62. Yeah, here's the 50 cal. Nothing here. Where the cartridges go in. There's no flash there. No flash on any of this. But 2 different barrel configurations. And two different styles of hatch. This has like 6 different versions, so you're going to have extra parts. And I think the parts total is around 120, but again, because there's different versions, you're not going to use all of those parts. And extra parts are always okay. Who doesn't like extra parts? Okay, so yeah, these here are the tracks, and these are the chevron tracks. As you can see, they look like chevrons, whereas the NATO tracks, they're rectangular. So, and the vinyl or whatever the material is, it's supple. It's pretty thick, which I guess you'd expect with tank tracks. And they've got the usual pin and whatever thing here, so that those can be a challenge sometimes. But anyways, we get used to that in our hobby. But nice that they give you two sets. That's pretty cool. And again, I'm sorry I've already opened this, but I don't know what happened. Anyway, the video was fine, but there was no audio. And then I started to record a second time, and my phone rang. So I got rid of it. Well, I took it to another room. Anyways, okay, so yeah, so here we go. We've got the base here. It's all one piece. There's a bit of detail. You've got some triangles here and some rivets here for escape hatch or maybe engine access. I don't know. Anyways, and then we've got the side armor plates and some pretty decent detail here. And again, there's no flash whatsoever. These grids and vent lines are all nice and crisp, and nice big raised rivets. And here's a tiny little hatch here. I don't know what that's for. That might be for the exhaust for when it's in the water, because it is semi-amphibious. As we can see here, emerging from a landing craft. Now, it can't float like an alligator or a duck or whatever, but it can go in the water pretty much almost up to the turret. So yeah, so there you go. Perfect for if you have to do a beach landing and get artillery wherever you're going quick. All right, and again, here's yeah. So we get some ancillary stuff. We get a couple of shovels, axe, hammer, jack, crowbars. Again, there's no flash at all. These little hooks, there's no flash here at all. Can you see that? So that's impressive, considering this was tooled in 1983. It's had some parts updates since then. I guess probably added for different versions or whatever. But considering the age of the molds, this is really, really good. And so, like I say, it's not super detailed, but hey, for less than $50, I'm not gonna. There we go. Okay, and next is the instructions. And I already gave some information, but I'll read what they've got here. It's a fair-sized little piece. Self-propelled artillery piece, the M109, was commissioned with a specific brief from the American Army to develop a heavy howitzer which had greater mobility on all types of terrain than the dated M44. The first M109s entered service in the early 1960s and immediately proved their worth as a major update on the M44s. There was also an M108, but they didn't produce very many of those, and it was overtaken by the 109's updates. The M109 was also continually updated during its period of service to match evolving operational needs. The 155mm main armament was also improved with the introduction of the A1 version and its long-barreled M185 gun, which provided a significantly increased range of fire. Subsequent A2 version incorporated further improvements of the weapon, including aiming, ammunition, and target acquisition systems. The M109 was produced in large numbers, equipping both American armed forces and key NATO allies. As I said, it's the backbone of the IDF as well. Although they do have other fixed artillery, but self-propelled guns make much more sense for them. Okay, and we've got our decal set, as I said, for 6 different versions. Everything from I-4 to U.S. Army. There's looks like Spanish here. Yeah, all sorts of different things. So that's great. There'll be extras there for other things. And we start off here with the usual attention. We got a nice sprue map of the 3 sprues. All the parts are numbered, both here and on the sprues. Some of the older Italeri kits don't do that. So see if you can get a look at the parts on ScaleMates or from somebody else's review, or my review, on whatever it happens to be. I don't have a lot of Italeri kits. I've got some nice accessory kits from them. but I had the Huey was Italeri, and I also got some 172 accessories. They had campfire set, and they have some great little accessories like that. There was the campfire set and the water well. Came with 2 campfires, the water well, and 2 tents, big tents. So yeah, that was great. I made a. If you see my 88 millimeter gun and tractor, the 176 Airfix Vintage Classic. That's where the fire pit came from, and the tents. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, and so we've got that, and then they tell you, they show you the difference with the tracks, the chevrons and the NATO tracks. They give you some extra colors you're going to need beyond your usual, olive drab, dark green, whatever. And then in big black letters here, choose version before assembly. As always, you should review the instructions thoroughly, make sure you understand them. If you have any questions, you can either contact the manufacturer, or you can usually get your answer by watching a video online of somebody who's actually built it or whatever. So and so yeah, so there's a lot of parts, but it's pretty basic. You put the you do the drive assembly, and yes, you do have to choose the version before assembly right off the bat here. So and it's almost you almost always do right from the start, or either that or decide very early on. So it's better to decide before you even start, and then you're not embarrassing yourself. Okay, and so yeah, and then we've got the body of the tank, and some of the ancillary things, the what do you call it, the fenders, various lights. They give you the different paint colors that they indicated on the front, and they show you which tank tread to do. They show you what to do. They say super glue both sides. Yeah, I try to avoid using super glue, but I usually end up using super glue for tracks. So, in any case, so yeah, so you install your road wheels and all that kind of stuff. And then we've got some more detail. Here's the barrel lock, and again, you're getting into the different versions: version AEF, version BCD, and then we've got the version D, flash suppressor, version BC. So even within this subassembly, there's 2 different versions of the muzzle flash, or flash muzzle. Okay, and then we've got the various different here putting the turret together. Here's the alternate. That's with the long barrel with the single piece there, whereas the other was I think it was 3 pieces plus the breech. And here we've got all of the little accessories that go on the top of the turret, and again all the different versions. And what I do is, if there are, especially when it's like this, when there's like multiple different versions, is before I start, and once I've decided, then I'll go and highlight a little highlight slash there, so it draws my eyes right to the one I want. Just makes it a little easier for me, anyways. And so yeah, so then we've got the 50 caliber machine gun, the cable, again more little ancillary things, These are probably water cans. Whatever amount of diesel would go in there wouldn't take them very far, and they probably need water because it's water cooled, so need water more. Okay, and so yeah, and here's what I mean about Italeri, some of the fiddly stuff. So you've got the two pieces of your cans, then you've got your cap, and then you've got the handle thing that goes on top. So, you know, okay. Well, some people like that. And so, anyways, yeah. And so then we got the, these are the the last things that you put on, and then we move on, and you get color. It's not glossy, but you get color illustrations of the various different versions. This is, I think, either the Spanish one. I think this was the Spanish one. September 2019. U.S. Marines, 1967. U.S. Army, 1967. The Italian version, 1982, so probably something to do with the breakup of Yugoslavia. And then we've got the U.S. Army Operation Joint Endeavor for I-4. And then we've got the Belgian Army in 2001. I don't know what the Belgian Army does with their self-propelled guns. But anyways, I guess because they're part of NATO. Anyways, and then, you get space on the back here, and there's a thing for contacting customer service. And there you go. That's it. I don't know about you, but that's pretty darn good value for less than $50 Canadian, which would be what, maybe $34, $35 US, and 30 pounds, maybe even a little less. I'm not sure the exchange rate, but in any case, sure has plenty of parts and lots of options, and they did a really good job with it, I think. So now it comes down to rating the kit. And I use a 12-point system of 10 standard points, up to 10 standard points, and in 4 categories. Packaging, 2 points, up to 2 points, up to 2 points for the sprues, up to 3 points for the parts, and up to 3 points for the instructions. I also allow for a quarter-point bonus for each category for any wow factors, like, for example, the 2 sets of tracks. Something you don't expect, right? It's pleasant, not unpleasant. And then up to an additional full point for what I call value, and that's not just the cost of the kit, but I really, I look at how many hours of enjoyment am I going to get out of it, and I don't rush, and sometimes I'm horribly, terribly slow, setting things aside and going on to other things and then coming back. But in any case, just for an example, if I get 10 hours out of it, which easily be with painting and everything like that, that's $5 an hour for entertainment. So as far as the packaging goes, it's I'm not gonna. The box art is beautiful. I just love it. It's fabulous. And they give you all the extra details. Nice to see the decal set on the side. So you can just by picking up the box, you can see what's going on with it. And yeah, so beautiful box art. It's not their fault that um, someone handling it in the wonderfully sturdy sleeve and sturdy top opening box. It kind of got crushed, so that's a full 2 points. I'm not going to deduct any points because it got squished. It's not their fault, not the manufacturer's fault, not Miller Rock's fault. So for the sprues, they were obviously they looked complete. There was no flash, no stupid looking molding bubbles or ejection pin marks, anything like that. So that's 2 points plus a quarter. Because there's because no flash, absolutely none. For the parts, the quality of the plastic was good. I'm not going to take points off of them for because I don't like the color of green they do it in, but the detail was decent for the cost of the kit and everything. There were no warped or broken parts, and you get decals for 6 versions, so that's 3 1/4. Get a quarter point for the plethora of decals, as well as the just generally quality of things. Then the instructions, again, that's going to be 3 1/4 points. They did a nice little summary of general service and history notes. They were clear, and they get the quarter point for, even though it wasn't glossy, it was color painting illustrations. So a lot of companies don't do that. I mean, even Tamiya, for this level of Tamiya kit, it's all black and white, and it's only their higher end kits that they do glossy color, which is nice, but you do pay for that. So that takes us up to 10 3/4, and I'm going to give it 3/4 out of a full bonus point. So that takes us to 11 1/2. I think this, in case you haven't guessed, I think this kit's a tremendous value, and 2 thumbs up to Miller Rock, and 2 thumbs up to Italeri as well. But yeah, 2 thumbs up to Miller Rock for offering such a great kit. It's not the up-to-date M109 Paladin, but it's still in service in a lot of roles in a lot of different places. So that's just great. I think it's wonderful. So yeah, I mean, it's also something a little different. I mean, people have a lot of tanks and things like that, and aircraft, but a lot might not have a self-propelled gun. So anyways, so that's it for this video. Thanks again to everyone who stops in, whether you're a subscriber, first-time visitor, or returning viewer. As I said at the beginning, I really appreciate everybody's time. It is valuable. And so hope everybody's doing well, and glad that people are enjoying the cooking videos, and hope that people will move over, or if you're interested in politics, pop over to the My Take on It channel, and I'll put a link on there in the description down here. So yeah, so thanks again, and we'll be seeing you real soon, probably with a cooking video. Bye now.